What's up, everybody? Tried my microphone, got my microphone. My microphone was lame. Didn't work. Did not make my voice sound any louder. If anything, it was a D phone, a decelerating phone, phone. Don't buy this from Amazon. You see it? Not worth the money. Gonna return that. I'm looking for something that works with my phone because I don't have a good laptop right now, and that wasn't it. So video looks good. Glasses are off so they won't drive me crazy. It is not quite as late tonight. It is only 2:30 tonight. Success. We went to the museum today. It was super fun. Lots of learning happening. Lots of little brains doing their own, kind of figuring out and putting pieces together. It was awesome. I love teaching my kids. I love being a homeschool mom. Turns out I am really good at this. And we studied dinosaurs for the last week at home. I got them some little dinosaur workbooks and read and watched a really outdated documentary, which is fantastic. Something kids don't get in public school. You know what we teach? We teach that science is a constant guessing game, and that whatever they're guessing today is their best guess with whatever knowledge they have now, but that in 10 years they might change Pluto from a planet to a dwarf planet, or decide that the dinosaurs didn't die because of an ice age or a drought and a heat wave, but no, now they think they died from a giant asteroid hitting the Earth. So, I mean, literally from when I was a kid to when I started teaching my kids, those major things changed in science. And it's just an educated guess. We don't know because we weren't there. They don't know exactly what's in space because they aren't there. I mean, even the bottom of the ocean is a mystery. So science is an educated guess. And I think that when I was a kid, I was taught in public school that science was fact. And I think it serves our children a lot to explain to them that science is taking facts and gathering data and making educated guesses, and that those guesses are sometimes proven wrong. So we got to go look the bones, and my little 3-year-old's face was like, and she's looking up at the T-Rex and the whale, and they have them on the ceiling, the whales and the marine dinos, and it was super cool. They changed the kids area at our museum from the last time we went, and it was super involved and super fun, and all sorts of water and digging stuff so they could get dirty and soaking wet. It was fantastic, like exactly what kids want to do. And it's so much fun. They were exhausted. My 3-year-old usually takes a nap, and I knew we were going to have to skip that. So on the way home, we're driving in rush hour traffic. We've had this really big, really exciting day, and it's hot. I mean, it was like 95 degrees today. So I'm hoping that my 3-year-old will fall asleep on the long drive. She didn't fall asleep, and I'm thinking, okay, if I take these 3 exhausted kids home in the heat and we don't turn our AC on very often, they're going to be grouchy and whining and having to do chores and at each other's throats. And I'm like, if she's not going to fall asleep, I might as well take her to the park so she's wide awake, so she's not in that in-between feeling. Like, we feel groggy and hot. Everybody's grumpy. I'm grumpy if I'm groggy and hot. So I take them to the park. They run all around. She fell off the ladder at one point, not far. She didn't hit her head. She's okay. And I'm thinking, okay. Sorry. Cat drama. Pay no mind. I'm thinking, they're awake. We're good. We can run to the store and fill up our water jugs and go home and start dinner and bedtime, and they will crash real hardcore. So we leave the park, we drive home. Nobody falls asleep, okay? The whole hour and a half drive home from the museum, The drive home from the park, wide awake. We're jamming Taylor Swift, Bad Blood. We are rocking. We're like, like loud, peppy, up, hype, wide awake little eyeballs. Get home, grab the water jugs, bring them to the van. 7-minute drive from here to the grocery store to fill up our water jugs. And she was out. Like, out. Okay? Out. Nothing was going to wake her up. If I would have woken her up, she would have been miserable. Like, when you struggle, like you can literally, you're so tired you can't make your eyes open. So, I'm like, okay. She only gets 20 minutes. I run in, leave the kids in the car, fill the water jugs, come back. Hasn't even been 20 minutes. I know that by the time I get home, it'll still not be 20 minutes. But I'll have a few minutes in the van to listen to more Taylor Swift. And then wake her up. So she gets just refreshed. So, drive home 7 minutes, maybe even 6. It's literally right down the street. My 8-year-old falls asleep. People, you can't fall asleep. My entire life runs around the sleep patterns of 3 little people. They can't just be falling asleep randomly. It really messes up everything. Like, I need my alone time. That means you have to be tired at bedtime. So we get home, wake everybody up, come inside. The dishes are piled up. It's a mess in the house. We have hardly been home the last 2 weeks. It's been a hurricane of running all around and trying to keep enough food cooked and enough chores done for our house to still function while we go do a million things. More than a million things. And we get home and I tell them to start heating up some food for themselves. And my 12-year-old comes out and says, Mama, you left the kielbasa in the oven last night. So the food that I cooked last night while we were getting ready, packing, loading up, preparing, I had everything considered, every little detail planned out. Yeah. Left the food in the oven all night long, all day long, 95 degrees outside, totally ruined, in the trash. There's nothing else here for me to cook. I don't have time to cook. I'm freaking exhausted, so I'm like, I guess we're having a meatless meal tonight. That's what we're doing. So everybody kind of, I don't know what they ate. I haven't eaten still. I'm going to eat peaches because I was sitting here debating, do I want like fruit and like refreshing summer things from the heat, like fruit and fruit juice? Or do I need like a meal, like some rice and like meatloaf? And I look at my peaches. I bought peaches the day before yesterday. 48 hours ago. One of them is moldy and rotting and it's touching the other ones, and the rest of the other ones except for 2, I only bought 10, most of them are eaten by now, are all bruised up. So I'm gonna have 3 peaches for dinner at 2:30 in the morning. So hashtag homeschooling, it's freaking awesome. As long as you don't like sleep or alone time. Peace. Oh yeah, I love the idea of doing trivia questions, and I know nobody's answering, but let me tell you how many cats I have. I have 5. 5 cats. It is a full house.